Have you heard that lifestyle brand TravisMathew has launched their first ever women's line just in time for the holidays? Visit travismathew.com/women and take 20% off your order with code LADY20. That's 20% off your entire order at travismathew.com/women with code LADY20.
Well, what is this?
Welcome to the LadyGang.
That's amazing. Say that again.
The LadyGang.
Things are about to change around here.
Each week, we catch up with Hollywood's hottest girl posse, Kelty Knight, Becca Tobin, and Jack Vanek.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the LadyGang. I am Becca Tobin here with Jack Vanek and Kelty Knight.
Big news, everybody.
Big news. Jack officially has brought out her ski... What is that, needlepoint?
It's like the wool. It's like the wool stitched pillows.
What does it say again?
Gone skiing.
Gone skiing, like gone fishing.
It's time when I bring out this needlepoint pillow.
It's just so crazy to me because like you are such an intense person, like with the pants and the shirts and the color palette and like the foods and the plates and like the coffee cups and then there's just a few times that you just allow yourself to get so ugly, like your ugly ass water bottle, this ugly ass skiing pillow, like you just fall off the Jack Vanek manifesto, and when you fall so hard.
No, but that's the point. It's so ugly that it works. It's like my ugly platform shoes. Like they're so bad that I feel like you're now on the other side of the circle and you're back to like, it's great.
It's confusing though, because it's like, I don't know where
you're thinking it's cool or where you're thinking it's ironic.
No, I think it's cool. I have another one with a pug on it I'm looking at. I have another one that says joy. I have 3 for my festive decorating for Christmas time.
Wow.
So weird. You know what? Don't knock it till you try it, guys.
No, I have tons of I have lived my whole life with ugly Christmas things in my house. Little gnomes, little plates, snow globes. Like, I don't know why I have so many things.
No, Christmas is the time to be ugly. When I get a house, I'm going to get a bunch of chic decorations, but like...
I did the same thing. My first house, I did all the chic decorations. I balsamed hilled it up with like all white and silver, and it was so beautiful. And you know what? Those things break too.
That's
true.
So
I say, you know what doesn't break? The fucking laughing Santa with the red nose that my parents have had since 1972 at our house.
That's
where
right.
You squeeze the nose and it sings a Christmas song. So like maybe the uglier, the longer.
Or this wool pillow. That's not breaking. That can stand the test of time. It'll last hundreds of years.
Thank God.
Pass it down.
Well, on that note, it's time for...
Good week.
Yes, it is.
Bad week. Oh, no.
I know we've moved on, but I don't understand Christmas decorations at all whatsoever.
Do you guys not decorate at all?
Not at all. We will do a tree,
No tree?
which I get the tree. I really do understand. That is like, to me, it just symbolizes winter, like a season. You know, like there's the lights and yada yada. And I can't understand like the tchotchke, like reindeer decor and like the little, what do they call them? Bottle brush trees.
I don't even know what that is.
It's this like the little tree figurines that look literally like a bottle, like a brush that you use to clean a bottle. Like it's, I think that's why they call them that. I'm assuming. I just can't understand it. So I'm sorry. Just a word from your local Jew. But I'll kick off good week, bad week.
Okay.
Hold on. I can't leave it like this. This is why people love tchotchke Christmas decorations, because I'm going to put it in housewives category for you, okay, because you'll understand this. Do you remember when Lisa Rinna's mom died and she had the box of her mom's belongings and she pulled out that tiny little porcelain flower thing that was so ugly. And she was like, oh, mom always had this
on her desk.
No, that is what Christmas tchotchkes are. They are a memory of the passing of time. It's like you don't know where you got them, but you've always had this skiing pillow, this weird thing in the house. And like it comes out every year. And for me, when I was growing up and my parents we'd set up Christmas, it was like it was this overall feeling of like, we're going to be okay, time passing, but like slow down and family's important. Like it all warms your soul.
It's also just like the little tiny bits of joy that we have in a terrible, terrible life. You know, you got to hang on to something.
I'm going to get back to your comment about a terrible life. Remind me to go back to that. But no,
I don't mean me. I mean us as a people.
Yeah, no, but I'm going to get back to that. So when she's opening up in Housewives, the scene that I know exactly what you're talking about, I think I've seen the scene twice from start to finish. And you know what I was thinking that whole time? I'm like, oh, what a burden. You have to hold on to this ugly fucking carnation ceramic bullshit, clutter up your own house. And I was thinking, I'm going to make sure before I die, I'm going to get rid, although I probably won't have those things, of any ugly thing that someone's going to feel guilt if they get rid of. So then they're stuck with it. It's like you're passing down junk.
Yeah.
And you feel too guilty because the person has passed. So you're like feeling like you're throwing away a piece of that person. I was like bummed out for Lisa. I was like, I hate that you have this memory and you have to hold on to that ugly thing forever. But Lisa Rinna's house is not exactly aesthetically my favorite of the housewives. So it's fine.
Oh, what's her vibe?
You know what it is? This is my theory about celebrities. At the point in which they make the most money in their lives and they decorate their house, they do the big fancy decorating with the decorator. Unless they continue to like rise more and more fame. Because honestly, yes, Lisa Rinna's famous right now from Housewives, but she was like a soap opera star, and Harry Hamlin, his star was pretty high, and it's probably descending. And so when they were at their pinnacle of celebrity stardom, they had this big designer come in, and it was probably 1998. And at the point in which that happens, every single person, that's where their house gets stuck, where they were making the most money. And it's like you look at Britney Spears and they make all those jokes how her house looks like the inside of an Olive Garden. That's because when she was her most famous and became super celebrity stardom, you only have the energy to do one of those like really expensive decorating moments in your life. You're not, even if she has the same amount of money, but it's like you just don't need to do it again, and you think that it's going to tide you over for the rest of your life, but really you're just stuck in like a time capsule of what was hot in 1999.
There is nothing worse than interior decor from the 90s.
Nothing.
That's such a bad place to be stuck.
It's awful, and that's why her foyer looks like an Olive Garden.
But do you remember on the Jessica Simpson show, The Newlyweds, how she had that, like, you walked into the lobby of her house and she had that spiral kind of staircase with the wrought iron thing? I was like, she's a princess. This is the best house of all time.
Oh,
but, like,
it was so chic back in the day.
Oh my God. Now.
What's weird is that I was thinking of them too, the Newlyweds house, when I was talking about it, because it's like so iconic, and it's so iconic for that era.
Yeah.
So So anyways, that's my theory on those things. And then the horrible life. Jack, I had a moment on Instagram this morning. Jenny Mullen was in her bed. It was pitch black dark, and she was just talking to her phone because she had this realization. She was like, I just made this realization. Our ancestors, like, even just go back 100 years. 100 years. She's like, that is an awful existence. The things they didn't have, the comforts they didn't have, the amount of babies that just died. She was going on and on and on about how like bleak it used to be 100 years ago. So I think we all need to turn it around and be happy that we have Brooklyn and sheets.
No, for sure.
And modern medicine.
Dude, that was like the only thing that I was thinking about when I was doing all the Salem witch trial tours. Yeah. Because a lot of them would be like these old houses that they had in the 1600s. And there wasn't much from the actual witch trials, but they showed their beds and their cribs and their kitchens. And I was like, this sucks.
It all looks like prison.
The insomnia I have now trying to sleep on this wood bed with like some hay on it. I can't
straw
imagine
mattress.
It. I don't know how people they're just trying to survive, and it's so bleak.
Jenny was like, they didn't have Zoloft back then. I never would have survived.
Oh my God.
It's so true. It's so
I just
true.
was like, that's the reminder I needed today and every day, that at least it's not 100 years ago.
That's true. I was just like browsing on Revolve this morning, just like drinking my nice Nespresso coffee. Yeah. Life is good.
There we go. That's the attitude.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
It. Sorry. So now it's time.
I'll go into my good week, bad week. Sorry for the long, drawn out tangent of tchotchkes. This is a little delayed, but when I was in New York and I brought my niece to see Wicked, I was walking, I think it was intermission, and I was going to the bathroom. And this guy stops me and he's like, I just want you to know I'm a huge LadyGang fan. And his name was Nico, and he was like so normal and so chic and so cool. I think he said he was from Boston. I could also be making that up, but I just love the normal encounters with LadyGang listeners. And I love it when
fun.
It's so fun. So hello, Nico. I hope you're still listening and you haven't turned on us already, but there's a good chance because this was a little bit ago. Okay. My bad week. I ran my marathon.
I know. Let's hear about the marathon.
Half marathon. Sorry. Half. And I skimmed. I did a Kelty night.
Oh no.
And I knew that I needed a very specific weekend to run this half marathon. Like things have just been so crazy and I didn't want to push it off too much. So I needed the perfect amount of time to like train, which I think I did like 3 months, but I wasn't like super intense. Like I gave myself wiggle room. I could have done it shorter, but I just, whatever. Long story short, it's called the Spectrum Trail Run. And so I didn't realize that there's a whole offshoot of marathons and half marathons and runs that are on trails.
This is way harder, Becca.
Oh no. Did you not have your trail shoes?
Definitely didn't have trail shoes. It was way fucking harder. But the good part of it was that I was so focused on not twisting my ankle, because I'm not joking. There were 3 times that my foot caught a branch.
Yeah. No.
And I tripped. I didn't fall down, but I tripped. And I'm like, this is how I break my face. So I was so focused on not killing myself on this run that the time went by quicker than if I was just on a road run doing my normal, it would get boring probably.
Yeah.
So I fucked up so bad. And when I got there were only like 20 people there, because who chooses to run through trails versus a road? And there was this guy in front of me. He's probably in his 50s and he's talking to somebody else. And he was like, oh yeah, like I got into trail running, like with my ex-wife, like she was really into it. And he was talking about it like it was this very like niche thing. And it is a very niche thing. And
I saw on Instagram, people were like, whoa, you did trails? That's so much harder. Like after you posted your medal. And I was like, I don't think she knew it was a trail.
I didn't at all. And this is where I really faltered. But I'm now I have to actually do a normal one to see the difference. I'm sure but it was like when I got there was no one there, because also it's not like a big thing. It's a very like niche thing where people just like who like to run trails, which is all of like 20 people in the Austin area.
They don't have like their whole families
others
with signs and shit.
You didn't have to like
cheering
get
them
in line
on
for your number.
No, it was so like pared down. There was one other guy who I think it was also his first big run. Everyone else, they were like every day. They do this all the time. Yeah. One guy and his wife was with him, and she was the only person at the finish line, like standing there cheering and like taking pictures of him. And I was like, so this is it. This is the thing I've been training for 3 months.
Are you happy about your time?
Yeah. Tell us all the details.
People can tell me that know more about this, but I used my app on my phone that does the mileage, and I got really pissed because it was 2 big loops. And a half marathon is 13.1 miles. So I finished the first loop and I looked down at my app and it says that I ran 7 miles. And I was like, well, I have to do that all over again. So that's like pretty much a whole extra mile on top of my half marathon, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a fucking lot more. Yeah. So when I finished, it said that I had run 3 miles. So I don't know. People can probably tell me maybe the apps aren't perfect, but I also think because it's trail running, that's also not a perfect science. So my time was fine. I finished under 3 hours, which was my goal. And I was like 2 hours and 40 minutes. But I'm telling you, I think I ran 14 miles versus 13. So I feel like my time should have been a little better than that, which is why I'm actually in the process of trying to find like a regular half marathon to do like early next year.
Were you sweaty?
No, it was freezing. freezing the morning that I got up to do this. It warmed up as I went, but it was so cold, and I barely sweat because it was just like I even came home from it and I had taken off like all my clothes but I was too tired. My legs hurt so bad that I just threw on sweats.
Yeah.
And it was like 3 hours later, and Zach looks at me and he's like, there's something really weird that's happening right now. You shower so much in your normal life. Like you'll shower if you've gone to the grocery store, but you have yet to shower after running in the woods for 3 hours. I was like, well, I didn't sweat.
Yeah.
I didn't sweat. So that was my bad week. So
well, congratulations. That's like a huge thing. I can't even imagine walking for 3 hours. So that's insane.
And you got a medal?
I mean, everybody gets a medal. It's like everyone gets a trophy these days.
Yeah, but whatever. It's still exciting.
Yeah, you did it. That's like a huge accomplishment.
What did you do while you were running? Like just thinking, or were you listening to shit?
I listened to one podcast episode. I listened to a little bit of music because I was like, I need my Ben Platt to get me going. Like I was like this, and because there was no risk of blowing it out and running too fast, because there was just, I would have died if I ran too fast. It was actually kind of nice because I could still listen. I listened to way more music than I probably would have if I had done it on a road. So, but it was good. I had a playlist, had some Shawn Mendes in it.
Ooh, what about some Charlie Puth?
No Charlie Puth, weirdly. No Charlie Puth. His music
missed
doesn't
opportunity.
Really do it for me. Maggie Rogers. I had a lot of her.
Oh, I love her.
Anyways,
well, congrats, Becca.
Thanks, guys.
We're all so excited for you. I won't be joining you. My knees could take about 5 seconds of running and then they give out.
Yeah,
my knees that night were so fucked. Like,
I've seen all these videos of people coming back from marathons that like cannot walk. Like their partners have to like lift them up to go to the bathroom after. And I'm like, this doesn't seem like it's good for your body. Like, I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but
I think it was good for your soul.
Oh, for sure.
It was. I mean, I talked about it a lot, just about like I got the relationship back with my body that I had when I was dancing.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a different relationship, and I never thought I would feel that way unless I was dancing. So it was kind of nice to feel that like physical challenge and like be proud of my body, even though like I look at it in the mirror sometimes and I fucking hate it. That's how we are. We're human. But it's like a lot less loathing and more like, oh, I'm pretty proud of myself, because pretty soon I'm not going to be able to do anything because my joints are so f***ed. But that's... Anyways, who wants to go next?
Congrats. I'll go. Mine are pretty quick. My good week is, trying to figure out why the fuck I'm shadow banned on TikTok still. It's been 2 months. Still. I don't know what's going on.
I will tell you, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I will tell you that a very similar thing happened to me and I never got on shadow banned. Like when I first started going hard on TikTok, my videos were getting like 80, 100,000 views. And I was like growing like 10,000 followers a week. And I was like, TikTok is easy. And then one day they just shut off the new person TikTok button. And now it's like, I'm lucky, whatever.
Yeah,
anyway.
no, I'm definitely following in your footsteps. So trying to figure out why I'm shadow banned, blah, 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 blah. So I go to like look in my name for the search bar, and it comes up with like most popular searches. So I was like, okay, it's like Jack Vanek engagement, Jack Vanek wedding, Jack Vanek Ryan Ross. In the most popular searches, it says Jack Vanek, I'm Peggy. That is in the popular searches on TikTok. So I thought that is a big win for LadyGang.
Peggy, I'm Peggy.
I don't know why. I don't know what video content they're doing.
Sound. You need to make a sound with it. People want to use it. I'm Peggy. It's iconic.
I just want to go back to, can we do for the year end? Can we have that conversation about Jack and her Hamilton?
Dude, it was so funny.
That was the funniest conversation ever.
It was. I think it might have been last year because I saw Hamilton in November of last year, but we should bring it up because it was fucking amazing.
So good.
I got to bring it up as a flashback Friday. Okay, I'm making a note. All right.
Okay, so my bad week is so it's obviously wintertime, and I thought that I would give the spray tans a break. I've been doing these like Morpheus treatments, so my face is all f***ed up all the time. So I'm like, you know what? I'm taking a break. I'm going to go pale, and it's just going to be me. And I literally cannot not have a spray tan. That's what I've learned. I am so unconfident without one. I like hate myself when I'm pale. It brings me such a level of confidence and just like I'm like in like my jam with a spray tan. You guys, I can't do it. I'm addicted.
I have an idea for you.
What?
Why don't you in winter, instead of doing like the full-blown professional spray tan, why don't you do like the what are the drops? There's the Tan Lux oil
Tan
drop,
Lux ones, yeah.
And just do it with like your moisturizer, and then you're giving your spray tans a break, but you're still getting like a little bit of color. You're not gonna hate that.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to go cold turkey. Like, this is going to be my thing. I'm just going to embrace it. I can't. My hair is too light now, too. It's just like, I look just like one color of like milk that I can't really deal with. So I got to go back.
How long have you gone so far without it?
Like 2 weeks.
You don't ever go that long?
No, I'll do my own. Like, I'll do what you're talking about. Like, I'll get a spray tan and then I'll like kind of put the drops in and last a couple weeks. But I'm definitely my true color of milk, and it's not working for me.
You know what? I will tell you, a spray tan can be life-changing, because when I started back on TV at E! I hadn't spray tanned in a long time, and I've just been sitting here in this basement podcasting with you hoes, ugly as and I put the spray tan on, and I looked in the mirror after they put my makeup on, and I was like, I'm f***ing Cindy Crawford. I'm back, bitches. I'm so goddamn hot. You can't tell me shit. And then now that has worn off, and I'm looking at myself on Zoom also thinking I could get a spray tan. Like, it really is a confidence booster, but it's like, I never think you look too orange. I can get very orange very quickly, so it's drama.
I've got a good girl. But yeah, it's like I haven't worn makeup in like a while, and I finally got myself together because we're doing something with our friends. I put on makeup, the whole thing that I usually do, and I'm like, why am I so fucking ugly? And I was like, And then my concealer is like all dark. I just look like a splotchy mess.
Wrong color.
Gotta go back. Gotta go back.
See you at the spray tan. All right.
Kelsey.
I have a bad week. My bad week is that I don't know if I ever told you guys this story. I think I did, but way back when we wrapped Superfan and I threw a wrap party in my backyard, and then I had all the blankets spread out. Did I ever tell you how the pincher bugs were everywhere?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So for those of you who weren't listening at that time, I threw this backyard party and I kind of like made it boho chic, and I put blankets all over the grass, and then everyone could like sit on the grass. And while the party's going on, I'm noticing that these like little tiny scorpion like pincher bugs are like infesting everyone, and no one's really noticing, but you'll see one and you'll flick it off, and then I'm like pulling up the blanket and there's like hundreds, and I was like, oh my god. So after the party I went and got like stuff to like try to knock them out, and but like has to be dog friendly, and I don't want to like pollute the ocean, so it's like it's not really gonna work, you know what I mean? So I'm going to redo my backyard. I'm taking on more home renovations, even though my other ones are not finished. And Corey, our friend, came over, and he was like looking at the yard, and I was in my socks, and it was like kind of nighttime, and I was like showing him the yard, and I'm whatever. And so then I go to bed, and I have now changed out of my outfit, out of my socks, and I've put on pajamas, no shower, and I'm lying in bed, and I open my eyes, and a pincher bug walks right up my sheet. It was somewhere like in my hair, and my body it obviously got on me from my foot and then crawled up my butt crack. Am I the flytrap vagina from the book? Like, it could have gone anywhere.
That's terrifying. Do they actually have the ability to pinch human skin?
Yes, they pinch.
Oh,
they haven't ever pinched me, but I did. I looked them up. They're terrifying. I mean, it is like, I am basically the Los Angeles bug zoo here at this house. Like, if they want to open a portion of the zoo where people just come and look like spiders, and I mean, this house is, because we're on the side of a hill.
That's also like, that's being in the hills in Hollywood.
Yeah, you're within nature.
Okay, here's my good week. So I thought I would do something really nice to like say hi to all the new people that I'm working with. Some of them I know, some of them I don't. So I ended up going to Home Goods, and I bought and then I went to Michael's, and I went to a couple stores, and I bought like pens and little notepads and planners and all this stuff, and I made like 2 huge baskets, one for like the e-newsroom and then one for e-news, and like took them and taking them in to be like, hey, take a treat for me, I'm so glad to be working with you, just like a nice welcome package, it can go a long way. And I'm at Home Goods, and I'm checking out like 75 notebooks and pens, and I'm like, yeah, it's Christmas gifts, like trying to make a joke because this woman's like, how many in 2023 planners do you need, bitch? And then, so we do the whole thing and I'm helping her load up. And then she's like, do you want to donate to St. Jude's? I'm like, no, because I like to do all my donations in like an easy way to track them. And like, anyway, I feel like a fucking asshole every time they ask me, do you want to donate? I'm like, I can't donate at every one of these stops. Like I can't, I could, but like I can't. Anyway, I'm looking like an asshole now. So the story's going badly. But anyway, she looks up to me, she hands me the receipt and she goes, so glad you're on E now. I've watched you on ET for years.
She knows.
I had a castor oil hair mask in, an ugly ass.
And she didn't know you from LadyGang. She knew you from TV.
She said, my mom's a big ET fan. We've watched you for years, but I know you're going on E and I'm so glad I can watch you again.
Did she finish it with you cheap bitch?
Yeah, because when I say I explain. I'm like, hey, I donate at the end of the year, like to all my charities. Like, it's just easier. $2. It's like too hard to track anyway. But then I'm like, now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm like,
you don't really need to track it.
But you're right. I could that's what I'm realizing now as we have this conversation is I could just give the $2. But like, I like to do like a big donation to like a couple big places that's like really meaningful. But you're right. Like $2, Kelsey. Next time, just say yes.
Here's the thing.
Asshole I am.
It's just got to round up,
It's just always easier to just say yes in that situation as opposed to the weird feelings that follow for not saying yes. So.
Well, I round up at CVS.
That's nice.
Okay. Anyway, I'm so famous that I got recognized at Home Goods. This is my second Home Goods recognition.
I mean, that is the demo to get recognized is in a Home Goods.
And I was like, what's your name? Jessica? Actually, if you're listening, I was like, well, she doesn't listen. I don't even know if she knows about LadyGang. And I was like, I'm always here. I live up the street. And she was like, okay, cool. See you next time. I'm like,
friends.
All right. When we come back, I was just going to sing I Don't Want to Wait for Our Life to Be Over. That's Dawson's Creek. I'm such an idiot. Anyway, Lo is here. We're going to get the lowdown. This episode of LadyGang is brought to you by Nutrafol, my best friend. So here's the deal. If you've been listening to this podcast for a long time, you know that they have been a long-time sponsor. They've been a long-time sponsor because I actually started them, I would say like 4 years ago now, taking 4 Nutrafol every single night before I go to bed with my nighttime vitamins. And as you guys know, my hair is completely different. I know it's not changing the genetics of like how my hair grows, but it kind of feels like it. It feels like I've never had a head of hair like this in my life. Millions of women, we are impacted, our hormones, our stress levels, pregnancy, postpartum, that just changes our hair. It's really, really normal. It's kind of embarrassing. And that's why Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement, clinically shown to improve your hair and its thickness. You can grow thicker, healthier hair and support the LadyGang by going to Nutrafol.com and entering promo code LGPOD to save $15 off your first month's subscription. This is their best offer anywhere and is available to U.S. customers for a limited time. Plus free shipping on every order. Get $15 off at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code LGPOD.
We are in the midst of the holidays, which means I am doing a lot of holiday snacking, eating, drinking, all that fun stuff. So I've been very focused on my gut health and making sure I'm supporting it the best that I can. So if you're not taking Ritual Symbiotic Plus, I don't know what to tell you, because it is 2 of the world's most studied strains in that little capsule with over 350 publications of human clinical trials. That's important. So it's a 3-in-1 clinically studied prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic to support a balanced gut microbiome. It's 1 daily capsule, so easy, doesn't need to be refrigerated, and it's daily release capsule designed to help reach the colon, not the stomach, an ideal place for probiotics to survive and grow. So Symbiotic Plus and Ritual are here to celebrate, not hide your insides. There's no more shame in your gut game. That's why Ritual is offering our listeners 10% off during your first 3 months. Visit ritual.com/LadyGang to start Ritual or add Symbiotic Plus to your subscription today.
Every year, everyone asks me, what is that book that you got your mom and she made? I want to give one to my grandma, my aunt, my daughter, my parent. And here it is. It's called Storyworth. Storyworth is an online service that helps you and your loved ones preserve precious memories and stories for years to come. It's a thoughtful gift that connects you with those who matter most. So every week, Storyworth emails your person this prompt. They fill in the answers as long and short as they want. Some of the questions are like, what are the bravest thing you've ever done in your life? If you could see the future, what would you you want to find out? After 1 year, Storyworth combines all of those stories into a book, the Book of Sheila or whatever. And it's like the most wonderful thing I've ever had in my life. So Storyworth, you can give those you love a thoughtful, personal gift from the heart and preserving their memories and stories years to come. It's a gift for them, but it's actually for me. Go to storyworth.com/lady and save $10 off your first purchase. That's storyworth.com/lady to save $10 off your first purchase.
Now back to the Lady Gang.
We fell in love with today's guest when we followed her every move on Laguna Beach and the hills. But this babe isn't going back to the beach. No. She's going straight to the bank. She's the CEO of Love Wellness, and the company has solutions for women's personal care. She's going to teach us about our gut-brain-vagina connection, which we all know we all need a lot of help with our vaginas. Because after 7 years of podcasting and talking about and writing about our vaginas, we have actually yet to figure that little lady out. Love Wellness is a best-selling brand that's available at both Target and Ulta Beauty, and one of the products is called The Killer. We're going to get into that. She's got a new book out December 27th, Love Yourself Well, an empowering wellness guide for supporting your gut, mind, and vagina. And it's available for pre-order right now. Please welcome to the podcast, Lo Bosworth.
Welcome.
Hi. That was quite an intro and so kind. And wow. Hi.
First of all, we're not going to go back in time and discuss any of those reality shows, but you have not aged one single day.
I know. That's actually the bullshit.
Insane.
It's annoying.
I don't know how, because like I drink a decent amount of martinis and like go out and have fun. So I don't know.
That's what it is. You're living well.
My mom, it looks amazing. She has aged incredibly well. So I don't know. But also Botox, man. Like, I'm not going to lie. Botox, sunscreen. I drink a lot of water. But
you're looking good.
Though.
To be shallow as you're looking good.
Yeah, let's start off real Hollywood. You look hot. Still got it, babe.
Thank you.
So my first thing before we get into the book and the brain and our vaginas is, the first thing that comes up when you're like looking at news of you is this brain injury you had. So I would be a dick if I didn't say, how are you?
I'm fine. I don't always know what comes up first because I don't Google myself. It's sort of like looking at your bank account. Like, I don't want to look at my bank account. I'm like, what's in there? Nothing. So same goes with Google. But yeah, in 2019, I was at a restaurant in Lower Manhattan and I was sitting in banquet. I was sitting in a restaurant and the swinging kitchen doors were next to me. And the far kitchen door, this enormous door, randomly came off its hinges completely and fell onto my head. And it was behind my line of sight and it hit me on kind of like a hard part of the top of my head, but it knocked me out and I had a terrible concussion. I didn't work for weeks. The recovery was really, really bad. They said that if it had hit me a little bit further back, I would not be in good shape at all. So
oh my God,
that's insane.
So it was a freak accident and I feel probably 95% recovered, but some definite like neurological challenges, with like language, getting words out, finding the right thoughts. I remember at one point I was going to the neurologist in the Flatiron district of New York City. And if you've been there, it's on the grid and it's very easy to navigate because it's just north, south, east, west. It's all numbered. And I was trying to find the doctor's office and I couldn't. I was like confused between which way was north and south in the grid. It was horrifying. He was like, what's the monetary difference between a nickel and a dime? I was like, you got me, sir. I don't know.
Wow.
So it was pretty severe. And yeah, concussions are no joke. It took a solid year after, to start to feel more like normal in my body. But what was really challenging was that this TBI, set the stress of it, activated Epstein-Barr in my body, whether I had it before or it was lying dormant. So then I had a really bad mono after. I was like so exhausted and I was like, what is wrong now? It seems like it's always something. My blood work came back that I had like through the roof mono, and just goes to show how stress and injury can really challenge the body. And yeah, it was a tough couple of years for sure, but I'm feeling a lot better now, thankfully. But it has taken years for my cognitive function to pretty much return to normal.
Wow. So crazy.
I mean, that's the weirdest story I've ever heard in my life. I mean, I want to ask you what happened with the restaurant, but let's not get into it. Okay, so there's big news today. So the book is out December 27th, but we're pre-taping this so that we can support your pre-orders. And something exciting happened today. Give us a show.
Okay, so not an hour ago did the very first copy of the book show up and land in my hot little hands.
It's so pretty.
It is so pretty.
Here's the front. We're going to have the word vagina at major retailers across the country. Look, the camera's doing the zoom.
Yay.
There's the back. It's pretty in pink. It's a soft cover, which is really nice. And I am this is like been so much hard work and effort, and the culmination of the efforts of just so many people. And we are incredibly excited to share this science with the world. This should be like, required reading for women and their bodies, but
you should start getting it into schools, Well,
yeah, I mean, truly, it could be, because like the evidence, like the pages at the end of all of like the scientific research in this book, it's like 30 pages of scientific studies and stuff. It's wild.
That's awesome.
Anyway.
What was I love the science behind vaginas and health. What was like the thing that just rocked you? Like, what research rocked your mind?
So, it really goes back to why I started Love Wellness in the first place. And it's the gut vagina axis, which has not been discussed a lot. I think a decent amount of people are aware of the gut brain axis at this point. You see a lot of like nootropic products on the market, and people are kind of making the connection between gut health and brain health. Like 90% of your happy hormones, serotonin, et cetera, are actually made in your gut.
Right.
So there's a pretty incredible connection via the nervous system, the immune system, the endocrine system. And it turns out the vagina is the third organ on that gut-brain axis. And that is what the book is about. So the book demystifies for the first time the science behind the gut-brain-vagina connection and how they are interconnected, they work together. And it's truly the science in the story is what I lived in my real life and why I started my company. I was depressed. I was anxious. I was getting these chronic yeast infections and UTIs. And the first thing I found out was that I had really severe vitamin deficiencies. But I was like, what do vitamin deficiencies have to do with like personal care issues, right? Then as I continued to learn more and more and more over the years, I discovered, I actually have a gut health issue. I have a gut health issue that actually causes the absorption issues to happen, but also trickles down to the vagina because the gut microbiome and the vaginal microbiome communicate. The bacteria actually talk to each other. It's called quorum sensing. And it's something that we talk about in the book, and we try to clarify to readers and to customers of our brand why things like vaginal probiotics work very well, why probiotics are like God's gift in general. I consider them to be the new multivitamin. But basically, like the biggest aha moment for any reader of the book or consumer of the brand is that these three organs are connected, and the gut is really sort of that like master organ. Take care of your gut, and your health going upstream and downstream is going to improve. And you do that through an anti-inflammatory diet, through gentle, mindful movement, and through some essential supplements. I used to think the supplements were like snake oil until I was like, oh my God, I have severe vitamin deficiencies. Oh my God, 90% of Americans have a vitamin deficiency. Oh my God, our food system is broken and nobody is getting the nutrients that they need from the food that is being grown in this country. Oh, and if you've ever taken an antibiotic in your life, your gut microbiome is probably fucked up. So all of that is what
The timing of this is so interesting to me because like you know, we're on television. Everyone knew you. You were like everybody's best friend. And then like, was it embarrassing for you to go into the doctor and be like, it's me, that chick on TV, Yeasty again? Like, you know, there's like a weird thing. I got recognized at Home Goods the other day and I was like, oh my God, I have a hair mask on. And I was so embarrassed.
You
but
loved
like,
it.
I mean, of course I loved it. But for you're going into the doctor being like, I'm itchy in my vag again. And tune in on Thursday. Like that must have been so weird for you.
It was a nightmare, but thank God for like HIPAA regulations, and you know, doctors do their jobs and they for the most part protect patient confidentiality.
Right, you know, it's like Us Weekly, hot takes, Lo Bosworth and her chronic vagina issues.
Can you imagine? Yeah, I mean, it was bad, but I mean, truly that is something that I sort of had to face when I launched the company. This was in 2016, and I had to literally go on my Instagram and start talking about vaginal health issues, and I had to personalize it because I mean, it is something that so many women experience, but it's much more powerful to have an authentic voice out in front of a consumer brand of this nature. Right. And I think that's why the brand has done so well, is because I've been willing to share my story and be vulnerable with people. And, you know, as a result, I've been blessed with a really successful business. So I'm not so embarrassed anymore.
Well, and I mean, that's the thing, is that millennial women, we have been so screwed in so many ways. Like we were earlier having a conversation about just body image and how we were like the generation of Photoshop and everything is fake. But I also think that out of this generation are voices like yours who are not afraid to have conversations that are tough. And it's probably the first time women have ever been able to talk about their vaginas, even when they're in pristine condition.
Yeah.
And openly and unapologetically about it. So you've been doing the Lord's work.
Thanks. That's
basically
really nice. That is really nice. I will say, when I first started the company, you know, you can go back to press from October 2016 and the tone is pretty malicious and like questionable.
Really?
Yeah. It's like, is this valid?
I remember thinking you were fucking nuts, and we had already had this podcast, and I was we were doing our own research, of Jack was getting yeast infections and sticking tampons full of coconut oil up her vagina to try to heal them. We were doing our own science over here in LadyGang.
It was a little DIY that I was just making it up as I went along, you know?
That's okay. That's
like
okay.
early adopter for sure. And it was like, I was like, whoa, what is this? Like, it was definitely a disruptive place to be.
Totally. The articles at first were like, oh, she thinks that she's the vagina lady, wink, wink. And it's like, well, now we're the best-selling brand at Target. So yeah.
No big deal.
Go yourself.
Bye.
Self. Exactly.
What has that been like for you as like, you know, I think we've just had this year of LadyGang where we had like our most successful year of all time, put out this book, went on a tour, and it was incredible. And everywhere I go, people are like, oh my God, you guys are like killing it. But like personally behind the scenes, I think it was our toughest year, you know, and the roadblocks that kept hitting us and the amount of times you're like throwing up your hands being like, this is too hard. So like in your entrepreneurial world and in your like lady boss world, what have been those roadblocks, and like any tips to get through when stuff gets hard?
Yeah, I think for me, listen, I'm a first-time founder. I've had incredible success because I have a public platform, right? So like, I'm so lucky to be able to benefit from that. But you still have to go through the same roller coaster as anybody who owns any business, big, small, consumer facing, B2B, whatever it is. Right. And we've had to make a lot of team changes this year and deal with, you know, recessionary elements and things like that. So I've had to make a lot of hard decisions about, you know, letting people go and, you know, learning how to truly be a leader and prioritize culture at this business and for my team, I think has been one of the biggest learning experiences of the last year. And, you know, we worked from home for, you know, two years, right? And we had a bunch of people join the team. And then we went back to the office at the top of February. And I think everybody coming back together, we all had to relearn how to work together. And, I had to make some really tough decisions, as the owner of the business, to let some people go and, change some of our practices. But you have to make changes to things that are toxic and things that aren't working, for your organization at large. You have to be like brave enough to do that. And you have to I don't know. I've had many sleepless nights this year being like, oh my gosh, my organization is changing. But I mean, it's the same kind of stress you experience like when a relationship is ending or you're about to leave a job or whatever. It's that type of stress that I have experienced on a magnified level this year. But it's just reflective of the growing pains of a business of this size, right? I think ultimately.
Yeah.
So it's learning that lesson that I'm actually not special in this environment. Everybody goes through this in some way, shape, or form. It just is whatever your story is.
Oh, I love that so much. And with your openness, we have this thing on LadyGang that we do sometimes, and so I want to start with your ish moment. The ish moment is what was the moment where you're like, I did it, I win, I made it. I remember my feeling about you. I feel this is many years ago, but there was an MTV Awards at some point where you were presenting or something. And I think I was dancing for one of the artists. And I remember seeing you walk by, and I don't know who you were with, but you were in a tiny dress and you were the glamour god. And I was like, these girls are so fucking cool. That's my ish moment for you. But I'm sure your ish moment is not that, because I'm very vapid. What has been your ish moment of I'm the ish, I made it, I did it? And don't worry, you don't need to be humble, because your next thing is going to be your heartbreak. So we'll take you back down.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You can go full ish.
Oh, okay. I think launching my brand at Target was my first ish moment. I was like, wow, this is really cool and special. But, it's because I grew up going to Target with my mom and my sister, my brother. We'd go once a week. It was our spot. Mm-hmm. And I'm a huge fan of that retailer and everything that they do. And so that was really a pinch me moment to see, product on shelf at a store like that. I was like, wow.
I feel people also do not realize how hard it is to get products into Target. That is such an accomplishment.
Yeah. Major.
Yeah.
Because they have so much stuff. So you assume that everyone's there, but they're not. They're picky bitches. You know what I mean? They're really, really you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what is your Hollywood heartbreak? What is your moment of the thing you missed out on? You were supposed to be a Time 100 most influential people in the world, and you were 101.
Got it.
Yeah. I got it. I got it.
Funny how those come so much quicker.
I got it. Yeah.
Isn't it?
I mean, things like this happen for a reason, though. They change the course of your life, generally for the better, I would say. Mine was when I first moved to New York, I was really active in the food space. Ultimately, it led me to nutrition and then to wellness. But I was really active in the food space, and I was going to culinary school, and my agents and I we had the goal of I'm going to have a food TV show. And we were talking to Food Network and Cooking Channel, and how long anything takes in the entertainment industry. We were talking to them for 18 months about a show, and it was going to be the next evolution of my career on television. And then one day they were like, it's over. We don't want you. We're done. And I had spent years investing, my entire being into sort of redirecting my career towards food and cooking. And one day it was just done. They were like, sorry, we don't want you anymore. And these carefully laid plans, just toss them in the bin and light them on fire.
Oh, God.
So that was my heartbreak. And then after that, I was deeply depressed and anxious because all of my vitamin deficiencies. So I basically laid on the ground for a year.
That was my next question. How long did it take to figure out your plan B?
About a year.
Yeah. And how did you get from the food to I guess it's a natural transition into the nutrition, but
yeah. So my program, I went to the French Culinary Institute, and my program was classic French, but with a farm to table element of it. And so I started to learn about sourcing of food, seasonality of food, the importance of food and like where it comes from and how critical good food is to health. And so it sort of opened my eyes to learning more about nutrition and how to cook in alternative ways so that I could be healthier in my body, but still be like a passionate lover of food and cuisine. So, you know, a lot of it was like how to go from like gluten to gluten-free swaps or like dairy to non-dairy, like, you know, stuff that is like very normal now. And that really kind of turned me on to just wellness in general. And like for me, when I got like the vitamin deficiency thing happen, I was like, oh, this is like deeper than I'm realizing, you know what I mean? And so I don't know, I actually don't know if everything happens for a reason. That's like a common saying, right? But it's like my path is actually makes sense if you like think about it. To the outside world, it might not make a lot of sense, but to me, I'm like, oh, it makes sense.
Well, I think it's also like a resilient, like people who can say that everything happens for a reason. It's usually like a resilience is the common theme, because you could have not really had the resiliency, been told no, and then it's like you're, you know, heartbroken and you never get over it. So I think it's a testament also to, if you start your career in Hollywood, the reason I think so many people don't find that next chapter is because they don't have that, because everything was sort of by luck of the draw, or because you were attractive, or you lived in the right place, or you had the right friends. So it's like in that giant group of humans in Hollywood, you only have a couple people that can actually receive rejection or redirect or have like chutzpah to go on and do something beyond that first kind of flash in the pan thing.
Yeah, I'm a maniac, so a maniac for success.
Yeah, me too.
What is your astrology sign?
I'm a Libra.
Oh, okay. I feel like that's not quite as psycho. Most Libras aren't as like psycho career.
I'm still balanced though. It's because I can see both sides of the coin.
There you go.
Work-life balance, guys.
There you go. Have you heard that lifestyle brand TravisMathew has launched their first ever women's line just in time for the holidays? Find perfect gifts for your friends, your mom, your sister, or maybe a few items for yourself. Crafted with elevated and intentional style, TravisMathew is known for their incredibly soft and comfortable fabrics, and the women's line is no exception. Each product is created with attention to detail for an intuitive fit and soft, lightweight feel, like the Cloud Collection, for example. The Cloud Collection is the ultimate in soft comfort. Choose from shorts, joggers, hoodies, and more, each intentionally created for ultimate style. For the woman on the go, TravisMathew's women's line is designed for ease, easy to care for, and easy to wear. From hanging out with friends to the morning commute, a thoughtfully crafted fit across versatile styles provides confidence and comfort day in and day out. In TravisMathew, truly anyone and everyone can look great and feel great. Visit travismathew.com/women and take 20% off your order with code LADY20. That's 20% off your entire order at travismathew.com/women with code LADY20.
This episode of LadyGang is brought to you by Advocare. Now, here's the thing. I have not always been someone who is into like drinking my vitamins. I always was like a pill person, but this is really a game changer, little water additive that can like change your life. We all need extra energy this holiday season, and that's why we drink Spark. It's Advocare's best-selling energy drink mix and go-to for extra energy and focus this time of the year. It has just the right amount of caffeine for busy days, B vitamins to support my body's natural ability to make and sustain its own energy, and neuroactive ingredients to keep me focused and alert. The focus is what I really struggle with this holiday season. My favorite flavor is the mandarin orange, because I feel like mandarin oranges were always like, we always called them Christmas oranges in my house because they only came to Canada like one time of the year. That flavor right now is just my favorite. Spark is a great gift for givers and receivers, and grab a bag of Spark for someone on your gift list this year, or treat yourself this season when you go to advocare.com/lady. That's advocare.com/lady. Get 15% off your first order when you go to advocare.com/lady today.
You're listening to the Lady Gang.
I want to go back to the book for a second. So it is out December 27th. You can pre-order now. I want to kind of get inside the pages. I mean, I don't want you to give too much away, but like, what is this? Is it in parts? Is it in sections?
So,
like, how is it laid out?
what I should have told you is that the book frames up a 5-week plan to heal your gut, brain, vagina.
Cool.
Wow.
So I should have said that, but I was like, hey, there's like cool science. There is cool science, and it's broken down in a really easy to understand way. It basically explains the 3 pathways that connect the gut, brain, vagina, how to heal those pathways and continue to support those pathways. But yeah, it's a plan book. There's a 5-week guided plan to heal your GBV axis. And there is an excellent section in the book with lists of toxins to throw out from your kitchen to your bathroom. And we go pretty hard at the personal care section that explains why a lot of traditional women's personal care products with their traditional formulas are actually devastatingly bad for your vaginal microbiome. So things like surfactants, phthalates, fragrance of any kind, these ingredients are very commonly put into personal care products or soap or whatever, right? But like things you put in and on your body, they're very common ingredients and they're very commonly used in women's personal care, washes, douches, scented tampons, all kinds of stuff, personal lubricant. Oh my God, horrifying. And so one of the sections of the book really illuminates that for people and why you can still use personal care products, but you have to make better decisions about that ingredient profile and the brands that you are choosing to use when it comes to personal care. So it creates a really helpful guide and framework for that. All those ingredients, basically, when they come into contact with your precious microbiome, they kill your good bacteria. And the good bacteria in your vaginal microbiome are responsible for your vaginal pH, which needs to be kept in the acidic range. When it's acidic, it fights off bad guys. It fights off infection and irritation. It's logical if you think about it, right? Pathogens get burned off in an acidic environment. And so if you're washing your vulva with bar soap that is really basic on the pH scale and it has a bunch of crazy chemicals in it and fragrance, you're essentially ridding yourself of your good bacteria in, your intimate areas, and it very easily could result in an infection or irritation or a chronic problem that keeps happening and you just don't know what the cause is. So it could be something that you're ingesting, creating a gut health issue, right? That trickles down because the bacteria talk to each other, quorum sensing, right? If the gut bacteria are like, hey, we're in distress, then the bacteria in the vagina are also going to be in distress because like they've been told to be in distress. Or it could be some external thing that you're putting on your body, like bar soap, or something weird like a spermicide on a condom that could be messing things up down there. So it can come from many angles. And the book really sheds light on that in a very like simple, straightforward way, and packages in the information, I think, up all together in a way that has never really been presented before for people.
What do you think that like the most mind-blowing fact that you learned through your whole process of writing the book? Like something that just was like, oh my God, this is crazy.
That really your gut microbiome, and we talk about this in the book, your gut microbiome plays a huge role in your endocrine system, in the creation and delivery of hormones. Think about your gut bacteria as little Amazon warehouse workers with like, what are those called? Checkboards? Clipboards?
Clipboards, yeah.
Clipboards telling other organs, hey, make more of this, make less of that, send this hormone there, send this hormone there. Your microbiome is responsible for that. So like, that's pretty mind blowing. Your microbiome, even though it is not self, right? The bacteria is not actually you, bacteria or bacteria. The microbiome is the most important organ of the body, even though it is like not self. It is, we are our bacteria. You must take care of them.
I beg of you.
I love this so much. I love that you did like a plan and just told us what to do, because we
love that.
Like that's what the basic bitches need. I need Lowe's plan. I need the list. I need to have the book and be going through my cabinets and being like, buy. We did this a little earlier this year. Becca got us inspired to kind of start doing this, and we're probably very late to the game. All right, before we go, Tell me about the Killer, because I think I need it.
The Killer is one of our best sellers. It was one of the first products we created. It was one of the first boric acid suppositories you could buy anywhere. Ooh. And I was prescribed this after like all of these chronic infections by a doctor maybe 8 or 9 years ago now, but I had to get it made for me at a compounding pharmacy. So that means you walk in. It was so embarrassing. I went to Thompson Chemists in Soho and I was like, hi, can you make me these? And they were like, yes, ma'am, but it's going to cost you $200 and it's going to take me 4 days. But when I tried them, yeast problems totally gone. And so I was like, this is a product that needs to be like in the bathroom of every woman in America, because like this has instantly solved my problem. And so I gave it a funny name, The Killer, because it's funny.
It's such a good name.
Dealing with vaginal health issues, you have to find humor in it, but it can't be cringe.
Right.
Yeah. And so I called it The Killer because it's funny.
It's great.
And wait, you suppository it up your vagina or up your butt? The vagina. Okay, I didn't know. I'm so confused. I'm always sticking things everywhere.
Yeah, it helps to balance and maintain the right levels of yeast and bacteria in the vaginal environment.
And do you use it while you have a yeast infection or all the time?
If you are sensing a yeasty coming on, that's when you want to use The Killer. But a lot of people use it after their periods to like rebalance their vaginal pH back to acidic, or they use it after they have sex with a male partner because semen has a pH that doesn't match with the vaginal pH. And then we also have Flora Power, which is our suppository that's probiotics and vitamin C that's specifically for odor and like repopulating good bacteria in the vaginal environment. So The Killer really is for like itching, yeast management. Flora Power is for odor, bacteria.
Damn.
They're
incredible.
Great.
She's doing the Lord's work.
She's
Our
crushing
CEO,
it, people.
Boss babe. Go pre-order this book. You're going to need it. Your vagina needs it. God damn it. I just pre-ordered it for Jack and myself because we can't get our vaginas to be normal. And you can check out everything that Lo has to offer at lovewellness.com. And I know you're already following her, but if you're not following her on social, it's Lo Bosworth, obviously. Anyway, we will
see you next Tuesday.
Thanks for listening. The Lady Gang is produced by Alex Ingber, Steve Delameter, and Jared Monaco. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. And if you love it, share it with your friends on social media. Like, oh my God, I just listened to Lady Gang. This episode's so great. Swipe up to listen. And if you really want to, which we know you do, please follow us on social. At Kelty, at Becca, at Jack Vanek, and at The Lady Gang. Sign up for our newsletter at theladygang.com and join our secret Facebook group. It's super fun. See you next Tuesday.